Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in the world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayers Live. So, last night I'd planned on doing a really late night live stream for both of my projects, IRL News Time and IP2 Wiki Info, but my plans had to be canceled, and I'll tell you why. I am currently contending with the first sports or workout related injury that I've had in many years. Yesterday, after I finished doing some of my work and everything, I had the bright idea to do a cardio workout. And I decided to do a cardio dance workout. Many of you out there who have followed me for years, you all know I really like to dance. So I found this YouTube channel that I'm not even going to say what it is because I don't want to attribute it to my injury, but they do these really cool workout dance routines, and I really enjoy, doing them. Now, here's what happened. I was really into it, started to improvise a little bit, dancing around the apartment. Didn't realize that I was as close to the back of a piece of furniture as I was. And I accidentally um, banged my lower back calf on that piece of furniture. Um, I did not snap my my not my Achilles, my Achilles tendon. I didn't, but I probably came really close to it, and hurts like hell. Oh, it hurts so bad, but it also hurts so good because again, I'm one of those people who doesn't incur a lot of physical injuries at all. Very fortunate. I've never even broken a bone in my life. I don't bruise easily at all. Like, I can't believe I don't even have a bruise from this. It just hurts. It's a little bit swollen. Last night, I really could barely put any weight on it. I was like, okay, I'm going to see how I feel today as to whether or not I need to go to a doctor or anything. And I got up today. And there's improvement. So it'll be fine. It's probably going to take somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks really to heal up. So it's just like an inconvenience because I'm pretty active, pretty high energy, and this is going to slow me down a bit. Fortunately, I work remotely, and, you know, should I choose to, I can just sit at a desk. Normally, when I'm working, I tend to walk around or I walk on my little travel treadmill, something. But I guess I'll just be sitting on the sofa or sitting in my bed and watching a few movies for at least the next few days because I've got to let this thing rest. But I'll tell you, um, again, I think that this injury is a blessing in disguise. And I'll tell you why. For quite a few years, those of you who follow me know I was an exotic dancer, and yeah, it hurts like hell. But already, like, sometimes you need a little pain just to kind of remind you as to the status of your body, how you're doing, and everything. But those of you who have followed me for years, you know that I was an exotic dancer for quite a few years, right? And here's what happens when you're an exotic dancer or you work in any occupation as a woman wearing high heels. It shortens your calf muscle substantially. Um, I purposefully don't wear heels very often today because I've been on kind of a mission to re lengthen my calf muscles. The only way you can really reverse that kind of thing from wearing heels for so many years is basically to re-tear your calf muscles so that as they heal, they heal back at the appropriate, I don't know what the word would be, I guess length. So of course I never did that, but I guess because of this little injury, at least one of my calf muscles might revert to how it used to be when I was younger. um I had a really hard time just wearing flat shoes and, even sneakers for about a year after I stopped wearing high heels all the time. So, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just really surprised I don't have a bruise or anything, but I don't bruise easily. Something that crossed my mind this afternoon before I even came on here. I think it's possible I have had more injuries than I'm aware of in my life. But because I don't bruise easily, if at all, I don't think my parents ever noticed. There's this one time when I was little, hardly any swelling, hardly any swelling, but that's what I want to get into. And it's going to sound weird to some of y'all, but I think I have gotten hurt more in my life, but I just don't display the physical things of getting hurt. And I really wonder sometimes if maybe my parents should have been more aware of that or attentive to that, because I've had some crazy things happen to me to where I've been slightly injured, but I've never had a major injury ever. I've never even been in a major accident. Um, there was this one time when I was a little girl. It was the winter time, and I was in fifth grade, and my sister and I went to an elementary school in our neighborhood that we could walk to. We walked to school and walked back home from school. This particular day, when we walked home, for some reason, my mom wasn't there, and I didn't have a key to open the door to the house. And it was cold outside. And I didn't want my little sister. My little sister was always very frail. She's the opposite of me, actually. Always getting hurt, always having accidents, always bruising, the complete opposite of me. But I didn't want her to be cold. So I remember the way that the house was, there were these bricks that kind of stood out from the house to where it was almost like a ladder and you could climb to like the second story where the roof was. So I remembered that I did have my window open in my bedroom, which was on the second floor. So my plan was, okay, I'm going to climb up the side of the house, walk on the roof over to my bedroom window, open the window, and then let my sister in downstairs, right? Simple, you would think. It would have been fine if I had been wearing sneakers that day. However, that particular day at school was considered music day. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, our extracurricular or extra or elective activity was music class. And then Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays was PE. I don't even think they have PE anymore when I think about it. But anyway, if it had been PE day, I wouldn't have had any problem because I would have been wearing jeans, sneakers, fine. But on this particular day, it was music day. So I wasn't wearing jeans. I was wearing probably one of my nicer outfits and shoes that didn't have any traction on the bottoms. So I got up to the roof. I was about halfway over to my bedroom window and I slipped. And I slid down the roof, fell off the roof, and landed on my back. It's literally a miracle when I think about it that I didn't land in some awkward position. I could have broken my back, could have snapped my neck, could have had a head injury. I landed in a flower bed that strangely at that time of year actually had some blossoming flowers. And I remember my sister running over like, "Oh my God, oh my God." And I was okay. I was perfectly okay. Wasn't sore the next day. I'd forgotten about that situation for years even. Um, I remember my heart racing a little bit, but I was fine. I was totally, totally, totally fine. But I've fallen some other times and at other points in my life, but I've never gotten hurt. And that's why I say God protects children and idiots. I'm not a kid anymore. I think I fall into the other category nowadays. But I have been so fortunate. Let me knock on wood. Find some wood somewhere, knock on, because I have been lucky. Ooh, I've been lucky. But yeah, like with this injury, I definitely can barely put any weight on it right now, but I have zero bruising. I can feel a little swelling, but it's not visible. So I must have really, really, really good skin and probably pretty high muscle density and very strong bones. But there have been times that I've gotten hurt, but I think like there have been times that I've had my hand slammed in the door, never broken any fingers, but I just don't bruise. And it does make like, I should actually, when I think about it, talk to my sister about this when it comes to her child, because it makes me wonder like maybe he's the same way. And that could cause you to overlook injuries. Because I think I probably have had some injuries, but I just haven't had any, I guess, of the physical symptoms or anything to display them. So, yeah. So I am going to take this calf issue as an opportunity to stretch out that calf muscle a lot more than I normally would. Hopefully, I can do the equivalent with my other leg. And over the next few weeks, I guess I'll just be focusing on upper body and core exercises, which is what I need to do anyway, because I have lost some weight, which is great. I see the difference, but I've got to tighten up my middle section. It's not bad, but it could be better. So that's what's going on with me. That's what's going on with me. Um, that is funny though when I think about it. You know, my mom, she bruises really easily, extremely easily. And I think she did pass that on to my sister a little bit. But I'm glad I don't. Actually makes me a really good candidate for plastic surgery. When I get into my 50s, I definitely want to get a facelift. Definitely. I am going to fight aging until I'm dead. How often do I work out? At least 3 times a week. But I do need to do more stretching. That is something I need to do. More stretching. But I've never been flexible at all, which is weird. You would think I would be like really flexible, but no. no. So at least none of my other activities really are hindered by this. So that's good. But I hope it does heal up okay. I'll keep you all posted on this. It's a good thing that it's probably a good thing that I have been working out, and oh, and also that I stopped smoking. I still haven't had any cigarettes since February 1st. I did have a few drinks this week, so that was enjoyable. Or not this week, last week. But I didn't have any cigarette urges at all. I even had a few hard ciders. Didn't have any cigarette urges. So, again, I'm not going to say I'll never be a cigarette smoker again, but, you know, I don't really see at this point in time why I would smoke a cigarette again, because I don't have the desire to. And that's really what I wanted. And I feel really good about that. And it definitely, you know, I've quit smoking in the past. I'm trying to think what led me to start smoking again, and what it's been has been being around physically other smokers. Right now, I'm not um physically around any smokers at all. I'm trying to think. Oh, I do remember what led me to start smoking again last time. It was a person. And I remember who it was. I'm not going to say who, but that's the thing. I have to, if I want to keep not being a smoker, I would have to make sure that I don't hang out with people who are smokers. So, see, that kind of thing alters your social life a little bit. It really does. Because I find that some of the most interesting people tend to be smokers. A lot of times, some of the most intellectual people tend to be cigarette smokers. I guess I could be around them through like a Zoom call or a YouTube panel or something like that, but that's about it. I can't physically be around any smokers if I want to stay a non smoker. And it's more beneficial to be a non smoker, not just to your health, but the kind of lifestyle that I live. Like, I travel a lot, and smoking is not always conducive to travel, because there's some places that you may go where smoking's not allowed. And like, it can really suck, like if you're on a long flight or car trip or train trip and you can't smoke and you want to, that can be very aggravating. So I'd rather just not even have the desire or the urge to smoke. And the fact that I haven't had any cigarettes since February 1st, that tells me that I've never really had an addictive personality to begin with. For me, drinking and smoking, I think, was a form of self medication when it comes to certain stress, certain stressful things that I've had in my life, and even maybe some trauma that I hadn't dealt with psychologically or faced. Um, I had to make a really difficult decision over the past couple of years when it's come to keeping a certain type of stress out of my life, and certain toxic energies out of my life. I had to make the decision, basically, just to cut the element that was creating that toxic energy and stress in my life out of my life. I had to, and it's a person, which was very difficult, but it was for the best, because I feel a lot better. And it's a complex situation. It's not something I'm going to talk about at this phase of my life, but I've just done a lot of self-analysis over the past few years as to why I made certain life decisions that I did. Um, why I made certain choices that most people never would have made. Um, why I've ended up in certain relationships in the past that I was in. Why I even have certain traits and behaviors that I have. And I found the answers to a lot of those, a lot of that self evaluation. I also, through reconnecting with one of my parents over the past couple of years that I wasn't so much in contact with, just this past month, I learned something just about my family history that I didn't know was there, that completely leads me to understand why I've exhibited a certain behavior over the years that I did not understand within myself. And again, I'm not going to talk about any of this at this phase of my life in detail, but to the parents out there, you need to be very honest with your children about what kind of person you were when you were in your teens to early 30s. You need to be honest with your kids about exactly who you are. Reason I say that is because I do believe that quite a bit of our behaviors that we exhibit are genetically predisposed. And I also think that there is a reality to something called genetic memory. And again, I'm not going to be detailed about this, but I learned something over this past month about something in my family that is a trait that I exhibit. And I have thought to myself for years that it's just an issue I have that I have to be very aware of and that I have to control. But learning that it's been passed down to me. Someone should have told me about this when I was younger. Would have made my life a lot easier and I would have understood myself better. So I'll tell you, I truly believe this. I think the reason that the element of narcissism is so prevalent within humanity is because it's the most narcissistic of people who have the most children. I am convinced of that. I mean, if things keep going without that issue being addressed, humanity's not going to make it due to the negative trait of narcissism. I mean, maybe narcissism is a part of survival of the fittest. I don't know, but I think for the most part, especially people who have children very early and who have a lot of children, I think that they are very selfish people and very narcissistic people who tend to be the least honest with their kids. I actually think that people who have children much, much later in life tend to be the best parents because they tend to be the ones who are having the children for the right reasons. And older parents do tend to be more honest with their children. When I think about just different people I've known over the years, it's been the people who have had parents who are really old that tended to be the most balanced of people. And that's why, even though I'm child free, the possibility of me still having a kid is not out the door. I would be really old, but I'm still capable because I haven't gone into perimenopause. I still have a regular period. So, you know, I'd have to meet the right person, but I don't think I'm going to have any kids. I don't um, see how that would happen. But I've always had the feeling intuitively that I would end up having one. So I might. You never know. But if I were to ever be a parent, I would be probably annoyingly honest with my child when it comes to where he or she comes from family wise. All the good, but all the bad too. That way they don't grow up feeling like they're completely insane because nobody told them the truth. Oh, so I just kind of felt like doing a bit of an audio blog today, I guess. Today's an eclipse. For those of you who don't know, I don't know if it already happened or not. I haven't been keeping up with it. I was at the point of totality in 2017, the last viewable eclipse in the United States. I actually met up with an old friend of mine in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, for that trip. Yes, I did. I heard from him recently. He was asking me what I was doing for this eclipse, and I told him nothing. It's not like a big thing to me. It doesn't really hold any significance to me. Not at all. Actually, where I am right now, it's cloudy, so I wouldn't be able to see it even if I was looking anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to make a audio blog today because I haven't hurt myself in a long time. So for me, that's kind of a big deal. But like I said, it already feels better from yesterday, and hopefully it continues to feel better. Hopefully. It's interesting the different kinds of physical issues that people have. I think part of the reason I don't complain much about things having to do with physicality is because I've seen so many people who have it's so hard. They have it really difficult when it comes to certain things. And I've definitely been blessed in that department, at least, up until this point in my life. Hopefully, it's always this way for me. I hope so. So, again, over the next few days, I guess what I'll be really focused on is upper body exercises and core exercises. I'm still doing the fasting thing. I think I just need to do 16/8 fasting for the rest of my life. In other words, I only allow myself to basically eat one meal, maybe some snacks, but only within an 8-hour period of the day. And then I don't have anything else aside from like water or maybe some juice. I feel better overall with my diet that way. Also, for the most part, I don't eat a lot of starch or breads. When I was younger, I did, but not now. I just don't even want those things. Like if it's a hamburger, like I'll eat a hamburger or a chicken sandwich. But as far as like grocery shopping and stuff, I don't buy bread. every once in a while, I might make pancakes. I have pancake mix right now, but I haven't made pancakes in quite a few months. I always have the supplies to do stuff, but I don't always do the stuff I have the supplies for. I guess I'm over prepared in many cases. But I have been feeling better, not having breads or stuff. And it's not like I was feeling bad before, but I just have noted that I have a lot more energy without a lot of starches. I do eat a lot of fruit and vegetables. I love juice. I drink a lot of juice. And I drink a lot of water. And I am going to start shifting my protein intake. I kind of feel like I don't want to eat any birds anymore, which probably sounds weird, but chicken pretty much is perfectly emulated by soy products at this point. And because I've had birds as pets in the past, I've always felt kind of bad eating birds, eating chicken, turkey, any sort of bird, because I feel close to birds, and I don't want to eat them anymore. So I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to stick with beef and fish. I don't even really feel good. Like, I do love the taste of bacon. I do. And I splurged in pork products over the past couple of years. I guess because I've, you know, been more so around one of my parents opposed to the other. One of my parents eats pork, and then my other parent does not. But I'm kind of porked out. I don't even want to eat it anymore. And it's just something about the way that pigs look. I don't like the way that pigs look. And if I don't like how something looks, why would I eat it? You know, I even feel a little guilty every time I eat a piece of bacon because I think, ew, I really don't like how pigs look. And I love lamb, but I don't want to eat lambs anymore because when lambs are little lambs, they are so cute. I don't want to eat them. I feel okay about cows, eating cows, because I think cows have bad attitudes for the most part. And don't ask why I feel that way, but I do feel that way. I think they have attitudes. I think that they are lazy as can be. I don't know if any of you have ever really observed cows for a long period of time. I'm not going to say how I've observed cows for a long period of time or why or when or where, but I have. And I've never liked their attitudes. And it's kind of, I think they're bred that way. I think that they over the years they've probably selectively, meaning farmers or ranchers selectively have bred the most entitled, docile, um go with the flow, but super greedy and hungry cattle in order to make their own lives easier, you know? So nowadays, I mean, when you really observe cows, it's just like watching a bunch of really fat housewives walking around. That's what they look like to me. That's why you have so many obese people in America, probably because they're reflecting um, the genetic traits of the cows that they eat. But man, if you just watch, I think that the cows deserve to be slaughtered. Yes, I do. I think that's a fitting end for them. You know, there's nothing about cows where I feel bad about eating them at all. I actually can taste beef, a beef patty in my mouth when I just visualize a cow. It's weird, but that'll be like the only land animal I think that I eat. I don't want to eat pork or pigs anymore, or lambs or anything else. I guess I would eat bison. I would eat that. Um, I'm not. I'm on the fence about eating anything like elk or deer or moose. I'm on the fence about that. It would depend on how hungry I am that day. It would depend. But I'm probably just going to stick with a lot of seafood going forward. And that's probably going to include minimal shrimp and lobster. So, yeah, I'm just rambling now, though. So, let me go ahead and end this live stream. Thank you for listening to whatever it was that I talked about today. And I will keep y'all posted. But definitely, I will do more stretching before and after my workouts. But this didn't really have to do with me stretching a muscle. I banged it. I didn't stretch it. I banged it. So, have a great day. Take care. Bye bye.